Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today is the third episode of our series that I'm making a deep review of each hero, explain their skills, their weak points, strong aspects, good builds that we can have for them, what we should invest and what's not in the skill aspect. And today we are gonna focus on the engineer.
Will be fantastic.
So here is the engineer. As you can see, she's not very strong in the attack skills, and also she have a weak defense. And she's very supportive hero. Actually, she's one of the best in the game. So if you wanna play a whole in a team or as a supportive hero like healing, she's very good in sustaining your party, giving buffs and healing. And she has some skills to reduce her cooldowns. And she heals a lot. Sometimes in some PvP modes, if the other team have a engineer, she can keep their opponent team alive for a longer time. So she's very good at that. And I feel like for playing her in solo, she can, as I told, she can have some self-sustain. So you don't spend a lot of potions. So how her attacks are ranged and are kind of weak. So even if you beat her very strong DPS, she is not as stronger as the other heroes. And doing story battles, you have to run from the bosses, because you can have a hard time if you try to beat some bosses that's stronger than her. So running from the enemies, I think I did that a lot with the Rogue also. Running from them in cycles and try to survive and kill them at the same time, so it's a good strategy. Another strategy is putting her when you are doing story mode and PvE content, not putting only supportive skills but also some offensive skills like special skills that can give some more attacks for her. But in the case of playing a group or in a party, so she's very important and it's very recommended to have one in your groups. It's because she can do this healing because of her healing abilities, and she have the strongest heal in the game. And she also have a sustaining heal. And she also have how can I say, ability that reduce the cooldown of the party and boost their skill damage, so it's very good. But it's very recommended that when you are in a fight in PvP, you keep distance from enemy, because she have a very weak defense. So kind of swordman, they always wanna catch some engineers because they can kill them very fast. So that's her. So let's start. So here I am in the game. I just built an engineer. I need to do some story modes to get more skills. So let me show you guys. Oh, I got it. So these are the three of her class skills. She have the auto attack here, that is everything she do is range attack. The first one is Busty Coil. So what is special about this attack is it stun the enemy for 1 second. So it's very good for control. They use a lot in PvP. And the cooldown is 14 seconds. This is called Elemental Blast. This Elemental Blast also reduces the enemy movement for 2 seconds and is 60%. He moves slower. And this one they call Explosion Shot. Is a bullet that goes straight line and is everything on the way suffer damage and where it gets also. And the burst skill is similar to the others in attack way. It's like destruction they call. And to get this skill is I just get level 20. So it's here. Destruction. So I just got it. It's teaching how you charge it when you use skills, and then use a special skill. So now I will do a little showcase of her attacks. How it works. I'm here in with the monsters. Oh. So I do semi attacks. Just the semi. When you put semi here, it's just the normal attacks. So here is the burst coil. You saw everybody stun for 1 second. Elemental blast. So everything on the way. Surface attack. And the explosive bullet. Let's gather some enemies. It's very good. And then now her burst attack. Pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm quite weak, but we can have idea of it. So now let's check the skills for her. We have many other skills that you can get in other modes in the game. But today I focus on these 5 skills here. That's skills that are exclusive for engineer. Only her can have it. And these 2 you get just following the story mode. So the first skill you get with her is the flash heal. This one is a supportive skill. And what it do? It recovers the HP of a Higher party by 7.5% of max HP. And one of the party members with the weakest HP, it recovers 12% instantaneously. And increase the defense by 5% for 7 seconds. And the cooldown is 32 seconds. So it's very good supportive skill. I see them use a lot. So what this skill do is the cooldown is reduced by 10% from her and her party. And the base skill damage is increased by 12%. And it takes 40 seconds, the cooldown. And where you can upgrade these skills is very simple. You can even check it's pretty strong. The effects you can have. You can get in this shop. Here is 500. And to get it, you have to do world boss, field boss, or chaos field boss to get this kind of amulet. And you buy here after 500. So that's the flash heal. So these 3 skills are very supportive skills, and if you are playing in a party or even alone, solo is very good to have some levels of it. And this skill like flash heal is very good. It's not very expensive and it's definitive for her. You can save a lot of pots also. Is one thing that I have a hard time with the rogue, that he spends a lot of potions. So with her, this is not a big problem. So the next skill is the resurrection. It's a peculiar skill for her, very supportive also. It resurrects some of your party member that is dead, and provided the whole party a barrier based on their 25% of HP plus 5%. And boost also their movements. So that's pretty nice. And once the barrier is gone, heals a little of their HP also. For 2 seconds, grants immunity to damage for 2 seconds. I think it should, if your party member, you just resurrect them and then they just die instantly again, so it should protect them. And he reduced the cooldown of special skills for 5.5 seconds. So it's a good skill, but it's quite expensive and it takes a long time. You can use it each 1 minute, and it's expensive also to buy it. You buy in the same shop here, Resurrection. And it can be very useful in higher levels, imagine 50%. But I think imagine like 3.5 you can buy 7 of these. So I think you just unlock once and then you focus on these two. And this one is very supportive skill. And it gives more in PvP and kingdom fights. So it's more for group play. When if you play alone, it's not worth it. So the next skill is the healing tree. So it creates a healing field around the engineer and heals the path member gradually if they are inside this range, close to her. It recovers 2.5% of max HP of you and your path members per turn. And the cooldown is 50 seconds. I think it takes a long time to get it, but it provides a very good skill. I think when you are doing massive guild wars and many party members, it can be very good to have it. So you can bring a very strong sustain to a party. And to get it is here. You can even get some from Guild Wars prize, but you get from here. Where is it? Healing tree, level 80. Complete chaos, they call this skill. And I saw they use it sometimes in PvP. I feel like it's not that great because you just leave it on this area and it's very easy to run from it. It gives silence to the enemies and reduces the movement 20%. So if your enemy is inside, it takes time for him to go out. So it's good. Maybe in situations of guild wars when so many players together and you wanna attack your enemy, maybe good. But a brawl mode 3, it's not. It can be very easy to run from it. And to upgrade it, you need to be very lucky to get these books to make this skill more stronger. So for example, you have to beat the world boss. So now I will show the specific passives that you have. They have many others passives that you share with other heroes, but I focus only on the passives that's from the engineer. So the next passive is Light Grace, they call it. And what this skill do, when you are attacked or getting a barrier, it's like 25% when you're being attacked. That's worth 10% of HP. And when you are attacked, when you are using this barrier, you get 5% of attack. So that's very good. But the problem is, I think, and it activates every 60 seconds. I think it's very good. This is the first level, but the last level is like 20% of HP barrier. So it's very good at 10%. So this can compensate the defense that engineer don't have a lot. You get this passive automatically with the engineer, so it's very good. But to level up, I think you should give you priority to the other skills, because it's quite expensive. Light Grace, it's 1250. These two the time lap and the healing is better to prioritize. And when you get a good quantity, you focus on this one. So the next skill, passive, she have is the fast trick, they call it. And when you attacking, you get 20% of chance of reduce the cooldown by 1 second of your skills. It's very powerful. So you can get some copies of it. When you get to level 100, 110 and 120, you can get some copies of for this passive. So the next skill is the pure therapy, they call it. And it grants a boost in the healing. And also when you get a shield, the shield gets 2.5% stronger. And the boost 7.5. So if you get high level, it's like double. So it's very good, very useful, because she has so many healing skills. So it's good if you are more supportive engineer. And to get it is the same place here. But if first, I recommend to prioritize this one and then get that skill. So the next skill is they call healing cycle. It is very strong skill. And what she do is this converts the exceed of the recovery you have in a shield for the rogue for 5 seconds. And what it can convert is 7.5, maximum is 7.5% of your max HP. And when you are using the shield, you get 5% or more attack power. So you have so many skills that like this one that increase your attack power. So it's very strong skill for an engineer, and it's good for solo and a party. So if you get these books, use it then immediately because it's very useful. But to get it's very rare. So I field boss and the genie also you get from him, and it's very difficult to get it. But once you get it, you can use because it's very useful. Because she's always healing, so you're having some extra barrier and extra attack. It's very useful. So the last one, so they call it a barrier mastery, something like this. So when you have a barrier, you increase your resistance to feint, suppress, trip and knockback effects. So it's very good, and it's 20%. Because she has so many ways to get the barriers, so it can be very powerful. So it's recommended that when you are doing PvP modes, because the other players use a lot of these skills. So, and you get it from the class rank. Here, where is it? Here, from level 150 you get one. So it's very high level. So I think that's a little review about the engineer. She's very fun hero to play with. I'm considering playing with her or which I should deciding. She can be very nice to play in the parties because this game has so many modes to play together with friends, and she also can be very outstanding playing alone, also solo play. So let's see. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you on the next video.